Hello guys, CG Frog here, and welcome back to a new episode of Pokemon in Cycles. So, I've shot this tutorial twice already, and I've just been so busy, and that's all the time I had to do it, really. And, well, there are some mess ups with some of those. So, I had to, so today I'm doing this tutorial. Plus, I'm going to get unlimited internet tonight, so I'll be able to post something. So, alright, so, animation. That's what we're gonna do. Let's see, Greninja Cycles. So, I started this tutorial, and, it's okay, I guess, but, I just don't like the tongue animation. So, that's what's wrong with this. So, I was teaching you guys how to animate, and then this happened, so I'm gonna delete all the keyframes. So, it's gonna go into the dope sheet and delete keyframes. Alright. So, that's kind of sad, because that was a really good animation, I think, personally. Alright, so if I go Alt-A, nothing happens. So, let's start animating. So I'm going to get right into it. I'm going to get rid of this boulder for now, because I'm going to explain how to make that later. So, I'm just going to explain a little bit on things you should and shouldn't do first, and kind of change this a little bit. First thing, you should not expect your character to just automatically walk. Because I remember when I first started Blender, I thought that if I just keyframed my character here and moved his legs a bit here and arms, he would have walked all the way there, like in a straight line on the X coordinate and then the Y coordinate. But no, that's not how it works in Blender, or that's not how it works, period. Now, I want to remind you, I started this when I was 9, so don't judge. So, that's what happened. I did a little editing with my model too. I added some glossiness to my Greninja. I added some displacement. This did have a subdivision surface on it, but I got rid of that because it was kind of lagging up my scene, because it cycles. It wasn't lagging it up too much, but I was going to wait till the end while I rendered this. So, I am going to first plot what I want my animation to be. I want him to just kind of run around. I probably won't use this whole thing, but animation is hard. It's harder than compositing, node editor. It's harder than even doing the game engine, and it's very hard. One of the hardest things in Blender. So I have my resolution all set up, 30 frames per second. I recommend don't use 24 frames per second. I'd use 25 frames per second or 30 frames per second, depending on what you're doing. If you really want a nice, smooth animation, you could go with 60 frames per second, but I don't recommend that. I think Blender has a maximum keyframe of 300,000. Oh, wait, no. Did they change that in the last update? Oh, yep, 500,000. Yeah, it used to be 300,000. Alright, I'm gonna set this to a big high number of 10,000. I know I won't be going to 300,000, and I know I won't be going to 10,000. So, it's easy to figure out how many seconds that is. I'm just gonna do the quick and easy way. 10,000 frames divided by 30 frames per second equals 333 seconds. So, and if you want to simplify that even more, 333.3 divided by 60 equals 5 minutes and about a half. So about 5 minutes and 35 seconds around that. Alright, so now that all the math is done, now we just started with the math. So I'm going to he's posed, I'm going to just click I. Alright, I'll make sure the bones are selected. Now, one thing you gotta know is that you can't keyframe the mesh, otherwise this will happen and it just looks weird. Yeah, that. Let's go and fly. I don't know what I'm doing. Anyways, okay, so just to make sure that you guys know that sometimes there are two meshes. So don't worry if one mesh is not right. It's just because it's just how it was created, so it doesn't matter. Alright. What's on the second layer? Oh, my water shuriken. Maybe I'll use that. I don't know. Okay. So, here we go. Let's stop dawdling and let's start the tutorial. So, I got my mesh and it looks pretty great. Now, with 30 frames per second, see, I'm used to 24 frames per second because that's just how I do stuff. First of all, I'm going to set a motion blur. I don't really spend much time with motion blur, so I usually just use this. No, this time I think this would be better. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what the difference is. I've tried experimenting with different animations. That's what that little motion blur test was. But other than that, I just don't know. This is what I used for that, so yeah, I think this should be good. Alright, so now I'm going to go, so Alt A 30 frames. I'm just gonna go 30 frames, and because I'm trying to go for kind of a basic effect, just kind of a Greninja stance effect, just kind of him moving around. Remember, you can move keyframes around in the dope sheet. That's one of the best things about the dope sheet, is being able to just move them. Alright, I think, yeah. So many bones. I'm not gonna move them too far down. Alright, and then gonna move these little guys. Alright, I'm gonna move this, and then I'm gonna show you guys a tip. Remember when you're animating, oops, and you, sorry, I got really close, and you move keyframes and you didn't keyframe one of your animations, it will not save that keyframe. It will just go back to the original keyframe. For example, if I'm not going to do this now, because if I do, I'll lose this progress, and it kind of looks hard. It looks easy, but it's kind of harder than it looks. So if I moved right now, his stance would go to this yellow keyframe down here. So, right, this one down here. Alright. Next thing I'm going to do before I move on is I'm going, alright, armature, gonna click plus, and I'm gonna set, so, well, I don't really need to select this. I'm gonna click this arrow, uncheck the arrow, and uncheck the tongue for the mouse. That just means I can't select it, because that gets really annoying after a while, and, you know. So I'm gonna move his tongue, kind of make it go down. What's the problem with this? When you have a complicated pose like this, it's gonna be hard to try and keep your mesh out of your mesh, if you know what I mean. Like right now, it's just all messed up. But that's how it works. And R, and I. Alright, let's try that. ugly. Ew, that's gross. It's worse than cooties. I don't know. I should remember that. There's probably aren't many 5-year-olds doing Blender. Just remember, people sound like a 5-year-old. They're probably like 15. That's my advice. Alright. And now let's try that. Alright. It's kind of good. Not gonna go for a perfect effect, because that's what I did in my last video. Tried going for a perfect effect. And you know what happened? I spent 20 minutes trying to make the tongue look perfect on one keyframe. So, I'm not gonna make that same mistake. Alright. Gonna check the video, make sure the audio's working. And it looks like it's fine, so that happened in the last video, the audio didn't work. And, alright. So now I'm gonna go another 15 keyframes, keyframe 30. Alright, and gonna move that there and position it right. Alright, it's kind of in the floor right there, so I'm gonna try and make that look as neat as possible. And I'll bring it up. Alright, and that looks bad because only the tongue is moving. So I'm gonna move it. By the way, you can just keyframe over a keyframe, and it will keyframe it will basically use that keyframe that you just put down, and it will save everything. And alright, and I'm gonna go back, and I'm gonna move him back up. It's okay, not going for a perfect effect. And then I'm gonna jump 10 keyframes later. Alright, so I used to look up tons of tutorials on how to do animation because it's just really hard. And there's one thing tutorials can't teach, and that's when you need to put a keyframe to make it look really good. And to tell you the truth, that's just something you need to learn. Oh, look at that. If I click Alt-Z, it shows the texture. I mean, I know that it can do that, but usually it doesn't work in cycles. That's nice. That's really nice. Alright. Try doing Alt-Z, and it will show you the texture. That's great. I like that. I like Alt-Z. It's one of my favorites, but sometimes it just looks really bad because it also focuses on lighting. There's Alt-Z, and then there's Material. And yeah, because that kind of focuses more on the material. Alt-Z focuses on the texture. Material focuses on the texture, but also displacement. It focuses on darkness. It focuses on lighting. Focuses on mainly everything that you need, but it also uses more render time. But I usually just use Alt-Z since I really don't need anything else. And plus, I can just go down here and change the viewport color. And then it's all good. Alright. So, now at keyframe 10... Oh, wait. Before I go on, I'm going to select this, and I'm just going to make sure I can not select it. Star, I'll keep selected since it's not even on this layer. Not sun. Camera, I'm going to unselect. For now, I will need the camera later. But, alright, I think we're ready for him to start moving. So, I'm gonna make him jump up, because I think that'd look really nice. Oh, yeah, this one right here. Now, every rig's different, but every rig, I think, yes, I'm pretty sure, every rig should have a origin point. So, this rig has 2 origin points. There's this one, this origin point, and there is one here. So, I'm gonna take one of these origin points, and I'm going to first check the audio. Alright, and then I am going to make him jump up, and I'm gonna make his legs move right there, there. I'm just gonna hide this. Well, no. I'm gonna select it. First, gotta check this again. And I'm going to select all these bases right here. And C. And then I'm gonna do H. To show them again. Dang it. Oh, I thought that was gonna... I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. But just click Alt-H for them to appear again. So, that's okay. Alright, so make him move. Gotta make him look good. It's the hard part with animation. You gotta hand it to the animators. I know people don't like the new animation style they're doing, but I don't know, it might be good. I don't like that. I kind of want his legs to... Man, this plane is annoying. I kind of want his legs to go back a little bit. Make sure to stay on your keyframe. And I'm gonna rotate it. No, that should be good. I'm gonna actually move this arm back, like the other arm. But, that does not mean that I'm gonna keep the other arm the same. Because I will want to make it look like it is moving. Little tip for you all, you don't want to keep any parts of the body just remaining still. Because if you hold your hand up, your hand's probably moving, and I bet you just did that right now. I bet you did. I don't know. Alright. But that's not the reason why don't make, if you want, you can make it rotating like that. Well, not rotating, sorry, just vibrating like that. It probably wouldn't be that great of an effect. You can either make it look realistic or nice. I usually go for nice, because more people like to look at nice things than, realistic things are usually nice, but I don't know. I just like to try and make things that look pretty decent. Alright, so let's move his tongue up. And if this doesn't look good, which it probably won't, but just gonna say, we can always go back and edit it again. Oh yeah, we should probably don't want that plane anymore. First of all, up here it looks kind of rotated a bit on the Z-axis, so I'm gonna click Alt-R, and then it's good. And R-Y, and alright, A-A, I. Alright, how does that look? That's a little too fast. I'm gonna move it maybe 5 frames up. And that's, 40. 10 frames from the last. So, I thought that was what we had before. That's too slow. Yeah, that's way too slow. Okay. I'm gonna say somewhere around 7:37. Alright. That doesn't look too bad, I guess. Alright, I'm gonna go to keyframe 50. And kind of gonna rotate him on the y-axis and make it look like he's kicking something. And his head has an origin. This is the thing I hate about this rig, is they like to stick bones like right in each other. It's annoying. It's unnecessary. I don't know, they probably had a reason to do it. It works. Okay. And I see how that looks. That looks good, but I think it needs to be sped up. Dope sheet. And bring that back. Gotta make it look perfect. That looks okay. I'm gonna move those 2 keyframes a little down. Like 1. Every keyframe counts. Also might be the stopping point. You gotta remember that it's stopping kind of makes the animation seem a little longer, where if it just keeps on going, it makes it seem shorter. So, one of the things I'm gonna edit here is, wow, that really went down. His foot. No, I like that, but this foot I don't like. I'm gonna move that foot down, rotate a little bit that way. Then we're gonna have to move the camera here. This is why I had the rock, so I could make it look like he was smashing a rock. See this animation at the beginning, it doesn't look good because it's just takes too much time. It's the tongue. I just can't get myself away from the tongue, trying to make the tongue look good. And it just, yeah, but I'm gonna leave it for now, since this tutorial's already gotten a little long. And I don't want to split this into 2 tutorials. I'm gonna make a rock here. Just click layer 2 or 2, and then I'm gonna add in icosphere, and I'm just gonna click O. Oops. I'm gonna probably have to scale this up. S5. Ooh, wow, that's large. S2. Okay. Move to layer 1, Control 2, and gonna make him smash this boulder. I know it's in the air, it doesn't look good, but this This isn't supposed to. This is just for educational purposes. Do you know what? I'm not gonna do that. Never thought I'd say that in my life, actually. I was always like, hey, I'm just gonna watch these Vine tutorials and make these stupid animations. Yeah, that's seriously what I was like. Alright. Your animations will look awesome, though. Not because you're watching my tutorials, because you guys have better ideas than I do. I know it. Alright, in here, just gonna kind of make him move a little forward. Not gonna really move his body itself. Gonna maybe move his toes a little bit to kind of prepare them for the ground. You gotta remember about this stuff, guys. It's important. Because everything, they see everything. And if you have a large fan base, they will notice all. Like me, I'm not even trying to move this tongue here. I'm just kind of leaving it. Just gonna move it a little bit. Alright, let's try that. Needs to be a little faster. Like there. Needs to look like the same frame. Alright, close enough. Alright, here I am going to, well, first let's give this a smooth shader. And second, let's kind of make this a little better looking, flatter. And I'm going to do a quick explode. Just click the spacebar and then type quick in and then explode. Start frame, frame 47. Outward velocity, just go maximum. Just as far as you want. 10,000 if you want. 555, bunch of fives. Oh, 300,000 is the max outward velocity. Alright. Okay, very well. I'm gonna, amount of pieces, 1,000. No, it's gonna be larger than that, 5,000. Alright, let's, duration. Duration I'm gonna set to 5. Alright, let's try that. Alright, frame 98. Gonna bring that down to frame 40, no, 60. Yeah, that's way too long. 54. And then duration 100. That looks bad. How horrible do you guys think I am? Oh, is it like thinking this is a collision object? Let's change the amount of pieces first to 10,000. You guys can all change this in the particle settings. Alright, I see the problem. Let's change it back to 60 and try this. And just there. 40. This is 46, 47, 48, 49, and it's just. Yeah. Let's, first of all, select the plane right here. I'm not even gonna uncheck that. I'm just gonna set. Alright, I see what's wrong with this. It's set as a collision object. don't want that to end right there. I want that to end at frame 52. No, that's way too long. Let's do frame 50. That gives it 3 frames. Alright, not bad. Not bad, I guess. Alright, that's the tutorial for animation. I know it wasn't a perfect animation. Maybe I'll make something out of this. Probably won't. I'm gonna do Control S and save that. Alright, and if you want this as a collision object, I guess you can. Alright, so that goes for this tutorial, Blender tutorial, and hope you guys have a good rest of the day, and this is exactly how I ended my last